everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Vernita Glenn White. I am a strategic transformational coach and consultant. And the funny thing is, I really don't think titles matter. I really don't. But you know, if you've been watching me for a while, you'll notice that my titles have changed. But what I do has not changed. And actually, it has improved or grown. And so I'm going to share that with you. And this is VLOGmas. Yay! This is VLOGmas. And I'm excited about this one because it is VLOGmas Entrepreneur style. So it's not your traditional VLOGmas that you may see that other YouTubers are doing, but it is something that I learned from my business coach a few years ago. I did this last year and I was maybe like in the mindset of a parallelpreneur, meaning that I still had my full-time career or job and I was still like working on some things on the side. So I was doing things parallel, you know, give you some mathematics because that is my background. And this time I am a full entrepreneur in many areas. So if you're new to me, welcome. And if you are coming back and you're like, are you going to talk about the same old thing? I don't know. I might, because who you are at your core really doesn't change, right? So when I talk about me, some things are going to be the same because it's me. Like, you don't change. I think you grow, but you do not change. So a little bit about me. I am, like I said, a strategic transformational coach. I used to say that I am a life strategist. I didn't want to be called a life coach, but essentially what I've done training, like my background, my training is in mathematics education, really in STEM leadership. Did a whole research on that and helped some people. When I say people, I mean districts and, you know, things like that, schools, universities. And then I found out that I also enjoyed helping educators understand who they are at their core. And then that branched out into people who were in the training and development industry to understand who they are at their core. And then that branched off to people trying to figure out what else can they do with their skill set or beyond their skill set to have more personal satisfaction. So my people that are typically drawn to me, high level, high achieving, educated women, and I've had some men, but mainly women who come to me saying, you know what, I've achieved all of this success. People look at me and think that I'm super successful, and I'm grateful for that. However, I know that there is more. I know that I can go to another level in my career, and but I want to be able to be a whole person. Now, they don't use the language as a whole person, but they're like, what else is out there? This cannot be it. So although I am a researcher with my PhD, I'm a researcher in philosophy education. That's what a PhD is. My background is mathematics and leadership, and I've done diversity, equity, and inclusion work. I realized that people have been watching me take these different paths along the way. I still was able to be like, you know, this professor, educator, whatever, but they saw me speaking, they saw me writing books, they saw me working with other people, consulting, taking trips, and not saying that everyone, you know, I mean, most people take trips, so that's not what I'm talking about, but I'm saying I didn't realize that I was still operating in a full life when I felt that I was only focusing on my professional side, but from the outside in, people are like, well, how are you able to do all of that and this too? So while I say that I'm not a business coach or anything like that, I have been able to help women that come to me see something bigger for themselves. And my whole thing, and I didn't know this, but that's what I've been honing this last year, was really helping people identify their core values and transfer the skills that they have beyond their positions, titles, and degrees. I say all that to say it's because I know for me, I got tired of people saying that college was a waste of time. You don't need to go to college. Or people who had these careers or even in the profession, they're like, did I waste, you know, my skill set? Did I waste my talent? Did I waste my time? You know, other people out here are making money and having impacts larger than this. And I came in, you know, this career for impact, and some of them are making very good money, but they know it's more. So that is relevant. And they're like, what else is it? And I was like, I'm right there with you. So I began my own journey saying, what else is out there for me? What was I really here for? And it sounds cliche, and I was avoiding it, but it's really helping people strategically uncover their purpose and calling, because I don't believe you need to find it. It's already there, but sometimes we have to uncover it and then get strategies on how to put it out there. So like I started a movement embracing brilliance. And that goes to all of us who went to school, traditionally educated, or if you got certificates, we need to embrace that brilliance that we already have, because everyone doesn't get that skill set. And I believe that we were there for a reason and a purpose. However, I do think we stay too long, or we get attached to that skill set and move into a job. And it may be a very good job, but we weren't supposed to be there that long, or we're supposed to be doing other things with that. And that led me to writing my book. Can you see it? Embracing Grit for Greatness, Becoming Professionally Powerful Through Personal Empowerment. So I went back and said, I'm not a business coach, but people come to me with ideas of wanting to start a business or consulting or things like that. Most of my people want to be consultants, because people who are drawn to me are either traditional educators or people who do training and development in other industries, like in health or in business, but not owning a business, but teaching business and things like that, or even in technology. I've had a few come to me. So mainly consultant and teaching people how to do what they do, right? Or improve what they do. So more so the consulting. And I have a few strategies to put in place, but this is what I tell them of what I learned the hard way. You have to go back and fill up your tank, look at yourself, and see who you are beyond your position, title, and degree. Sometimes I think we discount all of that stuff we went through because we think it's normal. Like I used to think, oh, well, everyone has a PhD. Well, that's because I was around professors, for most of the time. So we all had them, but that's not true. Or sometimes you may think, well, everyone is a supervisor. Everyone is a vice president of an organization. Everyone is in the C-suite. Everyone is an administrator, and that's not true. That's just who you are around. So sometimes you think that's common. You think that your brilliance is common, and that's not it. So I started with embracing grit because I help people, because I had to help myself and I had to get help, understand and look at everything that you went through just on the professional side. What skill sets that you learned? What did you overcome? And if anyone has been in any doctoral program, you understand what I'm talking about. What are some things that you had to overcome during that process? What did you learn? I became a totally different person after going through that process. So I help people look at that and own their brilliance in that area. Fill their tank up, because a lot of times, it can be rough. Going up the corporate ladder or going just any ladder. If you're in traditional education, going from classroom teacher to maybe assistant principal to superintendent, from manager, supervisor, president, vice president, all of those things, going up those ladders, it takes a toll on you, and everyone doesn't understand. And then, so I like to say, let's fill those gaps along the way. Because you're so focused on your professional that you probably ignored a lot in your personal. Once we do that, then we can skyrocket our professional lives. And I know we hear people talk about, the glass ceiling or the man keeping me down. And I'm starting to realize that's not true. We do have a glass ceiling, but it's not a glass ceiling that people place above us. It's like we create our own glass ceilings, our own personal glass ceiling. So I had to learn how to shatter them myself, and I'm still shattering. And then I'm also helping people do that as well. So that is what a little bit about me. So that is, kind of how I got around to this coaching, consulting, and things like that. So I want to say that I am an accidental entrepreneur. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I don't want to say accidental because I believe in God and he makes no mistakes, but it's not like I was like, hey, I'm going to be this entrepreneur. I told you that a parallelpreneur, like, yeah, I'll go be this college professor, but then I'll also do some consulting things on the side, build and how that goes. And God had a different plan. So I talk about that on my YouTube channel. You can watch the evolution of my career journey, but I'm realizing that coaching has always been a part of me, which I did not know. I thought coaches were weird people. But then when I looked at my career path, I was an academic coach. So I had already been mentoring people, teams, so of mathematics teachers and some administrators, and superintendents. I had already been mentoring them with strategies. I've already been, looking at feedback and tips on how to get better. I had already been facilitating training and guiding people and asking them the right questions to get the answers that they wanted to know. Had no idea that was the same type of coaching. As far as consulting, I had already been doing that. That's how I ran my classrooms when I was in the K-12 industry and in higher education. I didn't just give people the answers. I showed them the framework and guided them to the response, right? It was a little more guided, whereas coaching was like, well, this is the big picture. Let's guide you along the way. And then consulting is like, well, this is what you said you wanted. Here's a framework that I know to help you get there fast enough, right? To get there faster. I mean, they're kind of similar, but different. And I've been doing that as a teacher, district specialist, and a college professor. And now I do that with individuals. And then I've done consulting with universities and school districts as well. And then, so that's that, right? So that's part of me. It's like I have coaching going on, I have consulting, and then I also I'm a speaker, I'm a speaker, and I'm out there talking about empowerment and leadership and personal growth and development, and really transforming lives and causing a little disruption based on some of the things that I say, but it's all in love. And then I also, I told you about being an author, and then I also have an e-commerce business, which is focused on health and wellness and clean living products. Whew. So people are like, oh my gosh, you sound like you're all over the place. Well, I don't think so. I'm multi-passionate and I'm multifaceted. I love that term, multifaceted. And here's the how to bring it all together. And this is what I've been helping people do. At my core, I love sharing information that helps people transform their lives. At the core, I love teaching people new things, and I love watching them along the way and guiding them along the way and being able to answer questions. I love doing all of that. So I love the manifestation of my values, my talents, and what I bring to the table. And I do that in the avenues of coaching, consulting, through my e-commerce business, speaking, and being an author. I'm probably forgetting something, but those are the core things of how I get my message out. And I believe that doing all of that, at the center of that is embracing brilliance. I started off saying that people talk about college being a waste of time, or people being in their careers like, oh, I could have been doing something else. Have you felt that way? Have you looked at what you've been doing lately? It was like, I'm in the wrong field. I used to say that I'm in the wrong field, but I don't think we're in the wrong field per se. We may be in the wrong lane or avenue. So like I said, I'm an educator. I teach. That doesn't necessarily mean I have to do it in a K-12 classroom or even in a college, right? Same thing with what you're doing. I want you to look at your transferable skills and then see how can you use that to expand your brilliance. Or first you have to embrace it, then you can expand it. So I didn't go into all of the details about me from the beginning, because I already have that on my channel, but I wanted you to see who am I today? Who am I today? What am I doing today? At this time, and a little bit about me to wrap this up in a little bow, right? But that's really what I do. I have courses that I work with people on. Like I said, I have coaching programs, and then I coach people individually. I also have consulting, which I do with school districts and universities, really in the leadership space and helping leaders understand STEM education, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And I did a whole dissertation. I've done research on this, and I will be putting out, some curriculum for that. So I didn't want to be known as just like the STEM person, but tying in what I know about the personal development industry and the personal growth industry, how that impacts the education field and what people think about STEM education, is going to be epic, right? It's mind blowing. And with the e-commerce, that ties in because we can't share our brilliance, we can't embrace our brilliance, we can't expand our impact, our brilliance, or anything like that if we're not taking care of our bodies or our environment. And I knew I had to do that for myself. And the clients that I was working with, I noticed that they weren't operating at their optimal level because they were tired, sluggish, not eating right. And I said, well, we have to fix this. We can work on your mind, we can work on your strategies, but your body, though, we have to get that together. So I look at a whole person. What I talk about in my book, I was two separate people. Like, I would show up professionally, like I was this rock star. And then personally, I would just come home and crash and be like, I don't have any friends, right? And none of that was true, but it was like what I poured so much into my professional life, I wasn't giving to my personal life. And my personal life, I say it's two different people, but we can break up that personal into a lot of sections to where it can be 4 more sections, 8 more sections, or 11 more sections, depending on, how full of a life you want to have. And that's what I help people do. And that's part of embracing brilliance. I just do that in different areas. So welcome to day 1 of VLOGmas. I know this one was short and sweet. Let me know your comments down below. Let me know if you've kind of been struggling with being a whole person, like giving so much to your professional side that you've ignored. And I'll just give you like the overall, like the foundational 5. Well, I'll say the foundational 4 or the core 4, because professional or career, you got that on lock, right? So let me know if you've been struggling in the area of your spirituality, and you get to define what spirituality means to you. And that's not a religion necessarily. What about your finances, your money story, how you connect with money and things like that? What about your family, your relationship with your family? How are you doing with that? And then relationships can be, like I said, family, friends, or significant others, romantic and things like that. Like I said, you can break these up even more, but I just want to give you the overall. And then how are you doing with your health and wellness? See, the e-commerce is part of that. And health and wellness, there are 2 different things, really. We could split those up. Like, health is like your body, your physical, and then wellness is your mental. So comment down below. Let me know a little bit about yourself. Let me know what areas you've been struggling with, or what areas you have been, excelling in, because there are some people who are just doing the doggone thing. Like, their professional life is on lock and their finances are on lock, So I just want to see, like, it doesn't always have to be like, oh my gosh, I got, everything else is horrible. No, I just like to see, but that's just how people are coming to me, and that's what I see. But if you are, different, hey, I welcome that. Bring that on in. So, like I said, that's it for day 1 of VLOGmas. That's a little bit about me. If you want to connect with me, you can get a free live class from me by going to drvernitafreegift.com, and I'll make sure I have those links at the bottom. And if you, I chuckle at this name every time because it's true. Like, I always get the visual. So when I asked you, like, if you're focusing so much on your professional life and not your personal life, you tend to be lopsided. You tend not to be a balanced person, right? Because it's like all of your energy is going to one side. So this year I did a challenge called the Lopsided Achiever Challenge. And then I got, people were really interested in it. So I created a Facebook group, a community that I'm growing, because some people don't want to admit it, but I'm trying to say, come on, welcome home, it's okay. So the group is called it's called Large. So the Lopsided Achiever Recovery group experience, because it's an ongoing process. You know, first we have to realize this and be in a safe place to raise our hand and say, you know what? I've been focusing too much on my career, my business, and I've been ignoring all the other areas of my life to make me a whole person, to live the full life that I desire. That is me. That is me. So come to the group so you can actually say that out loud, because some people are like, think you're like ungrateful if you say, you know, some things that, you know, they're like, well, what do you mean? You know, you're not happy or fulfilled with the career you have. People will kill for your career. Yeah, but that's not the space we need to be in. And then to be in a place where you can get some tips and strategies on how to, you know, when you feel yourself going one way too much, you can say, whoa, 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 you know, straighten back up, straighten back up. So, and then it's a group process. It's all about accountability, being able to share, and then having the experience. Like I said, I'm growing it. I'm inviting you. I can't wait to see you in there. And I'll leave that information down below as well. So I gave you a few things. I told you about me. Overall, you know, just a different version of about me. I told you about my consulting, coaching, and e-commerce business. I also told you that I'm a speaker and an author and things like that. And then I asked you to comment down below, tell me what areas that you've been focusing on, and then some areas that you may be struggling with. And then if you so choose, you can get a free live class from me at drvernitafreegift.com, and then join my Facebook group, LARGE, the Lopsided Achiever Recovery Group Experience. So we have a lot of more time to spend with each other. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember this, be well, be bold, be empowered, and be brilliant. Until next time, bye.